Let's talk about trust, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about, let's talk about trust. Let's talk about, ooh. I'm kind of just singing to myself. If you're catching that on the replay, that was for you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Susie Ashworth. I am founder of the Calm Birth School and the Baby Business School, and I'm a mindset, marketing and messaging mentor for creative, heart-centered entrepreneurs like you. And today I want to talk to you about trust. There is one person on the line, so I just want to say hi, and can you do me a favour? So it's Bev, you beautiful human being. Is my voice sounding like Barry White still? Is there still something wrong with my interweb connection? Please, can you let me know? Yes or no before I continue? Because I don't want to do this whole live stream sounding like Barry, basically. I'm just going to wait. Give me the, hey, Facebook open, this video popped up in my bottom right centre, taking it as a sign that I need to watch this. Yeah, me and Facebook are working together, Bev, to make sure that everybody's getting the right signs. Does my voice sound normal? Tell me, sweetie. You sound gorgeous. No, yay! Perfect. Okay, so look, today I want to talk to you about trust. I had a really, really gorgeous day at Tour Spa yesterday, my favourite place, or one of my favourite places in the near to visit. And one of the things that came up is the thing that holds us back from really stepping into our power, from owning our voice, from sharing our truth, from being the individual we know we are capable of being, is not trusting, is worrying about getting it wrong, is second guessing our thoughts and our feelings, not listening to that kind of knot that we get in our gut, not listening to our intuition, fearing that we can, putting more credence on our logical brain and logically thinking ourselves in and out of situations than trusting that even if the step that we are about to take logically makes no sense at all, that trusting that we are going to be, that we're always on the right path, and we get to where we want to get much, 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 much more quickly when we trust rather than do all the things that I just mentioned. So second guessing, worrying, fear. As soon as we get into that space of stress and anxiety, hey Georgie, it really prevents us from moving forward as quickly as we want. And again, this is one of these things that intellectually I know that all of you understand, that we need to trust ourselves and trust in the universe and everything will be okay. We don't do that. We spend so much of our days on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, and in a moment by moment basis, not trusting. And I want to ask you, are you aware of the title of this live stream is, hey, you beautiful lady, is what does trust feel like? And I think that the easiest way to get there is to really acknowledge what non-trust feels like. So when we're not trusting, we have that sense of anxiety. We're really wrapped up in our thoughts and worry. There's very little in the sense of space. There's hardly any gaps between our thoughts. So it's kind of onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing. And whilst we might get those kind of little glimpses of, oh, this is okay, everything's going to be all right, we kind of get that voice in the back of our minds that says, yeah, but. Not trusting is yeah, but, or it's okay for everybody else, but not me, but not me. Not trusting is having something that you really, really, really want to say, but I'm obviously coming up with this example because I'm thinking about you, Georgie, and what we were talking about, last week or the week before. You have really something that you want to say, but fearing that the message is too big or too strong, or that you're going to come across in the wrong way. That is not trusting. And ultimately, in order for us to manifest all of the things that we want to, all of the things that we desire, and quickly, we have to get into that space of trust. So if non-trust feels like stress, feels like anxiety, feels like our thoughts racing, hardly any gaps, what does trust feel like? And what does it feel like in our body? And for me, and what we were talking about yesterday, is ease. Trust is that feeling you get after you take a big deep breath and you bring yourself to the present moment and you just let it out, and the shoulders come down, and you know that the only thing that you have to do next is put the next step, take one foot and put it in front of the other one. That is trust. I was just saying, I had this the other day. I had to keep telling myself to shut the front door and get on with just not shut the actual front door, that shut the front door and get on with what I'd planned. Still yet to take action, but I've decided in this moment, today is the day for action. Perfect. That is so lovely. And what I invite you to do, Bev, is that as you're taking the action, or before you take the action, get into the space of trust. So quite often we feel resistance, and yet we push our way through, and we're on the right path. The resistance, you can push through it, but actually the end result, which is your success, and underneath the success is you being joyful and happy and in flow, that feels so much more easy when you go to the space of trust before. So what does trust feel like in your body? It feels like your shoulders are down. It feels expansive across the chest. It feels present. It feels like being present and in the moment. It feels like the slowing down of your thoughts. It feels like your ability to reframe or flip a negative into a positive, or redirect your attention to something that raises your vibration, that helps you feel more in the moment. And it's your ability to stay in there. When you're able to stay in there, you are trusting that it's okay. You're telling your conscious mind that it is okay to take a break and for you to focus on the thing that feels good or better. Does that make sense? I want you to walk away from this stream knowing that you can access trust. When you're not feeling it, the easiest thing for you to do to create some space for the trust to come in is to breathe, is to stop what you're doing and take the biggest, deepest breath in. Sometimes you want to put your hand on your heart to connect yourself with the moment and to connect yourself with yourself. And then big sigh, big exhalation. And then choose your thoughts. Where do you want to go with that? I am creative. I am powerful. I am on the right track. I am abundance. I am present. Bear's just saying absolutely makes sense. For me, it's an avenue I've toyed with exploring over the last 18 months, and I'm tired of thinking what if. So I'll explore, and whether it works or not, have my answer. It's no longer draining me of energy, effort, freeing me to focus on something else. Yeah, perfect. And I think that being unattached to the outcome, which again is something that we get on an intellectual perspective, but when we're actually practicing it, it's really, really tough. But the minute you can flip this to whether it works or not, to understanding that you taking the step, regardless of the outcome, is what you're supposed to be doing, and allow that step to feel as good as it can feel in that moment. So rather than pushing through resistance, really release resistance, take those deep breaths, really kind of set that foundation. So before you take any action at all, you're feeling as good, you're creating as much space as possible within your body before you send the email, before you put the announcement on Facebook, whatever it is, but create that sense of space in your body, connect with yourself. You know, that's the feeling of trust, and then take the next step. Yeah. So what does trust feel like? It feels like ease, it feels like space, it feels like breath, it feels like there is space in between the thoughts. So whenever you find yourself in a worry loop, whenever you find yourself feeling anxious, ask yourself, what am I not trusting here? You know, interrupt the pattern with the question, what am I not trusting here? You know the answer. The answer is, I'm not trusting myself, I'm not trusting the universe. You know, the answer is always the same, but by literally asking yourself the question, you interrupt the pattern, and then that gives you the opportunity to take a breath, create some space, and then keep choosing to breathe again. Keep choosing to breathe again, and if you need to, refocus your attention on something that you have absolute faith in, and that may be you have absolute faith that the sky is always going to be up and the ground is always going to be down, and you can acknowledge that and think and breathe into that. Just create a little bit more space in your body before you then take the action. So that, my lovelies, is it for me today. I hope that that was useful. I want you to all just trust that you're on the right path and that everything is always working out for you. And any time that it doesn't feel like that, any time that you are feeling stressed, you've just forgotten. So remind yourself. Okay, my lovelies. Mwah. Love you so much, and I will see you for the next one.